Hello and welcome to this channel. I enjoy figure skating very much and basically I just don't have enough people to talk about it, so here we are. One of my favorite aspects of this sport is costume design, so this is what this video is dedicated to. I'm going to talk about three of my favorite skaters. They are Kamila Valieva, Anna Scherbakova and Alena Kostornaya. I am going to discuss the costumes they've had this season, and also I will suggest my own designs for these programs. Also, a quick disclaimer, this video has not been made to make fun of or to disrespect somebody else's work. Most of the costumes for girls have been made by Olga Rybenko, I believe. At least she's the one who usually does costumes for this group, and I love a lot of her designs and I think she's really talented. It's just this video is my fantasy on what costumes I would like to see on ice. So we will start with Camila's short program. She had two dresses for this one. The first one is sort of this peachy, beigey colored one. I think she only skated 2 competitions in it, and I'm glad because I did not like this dress at all. Like, I don't think the cut is the best, and also the color I don't think is very suitable for her in particular. The second one was much better. It was this purple dress. The cut is really nice. I think she looks really pretty in it. And if I could change something about this dress, I would change the color. I personally think that it's way too saturated for such a lyrical program. And also, I would honestly get rid of those gloves because I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to draw people's attention to her beautiful arm movements, but honestly, I don't think she needs any help in that department, and both gloves and sleeves are just a bit too much for me. And here is my idea for the costume for this program. I really apologize for my drawing skills. I don't really know how to draw. I just really wanted to show you guys what I had in mind. So here we go. Please don't judge me too harshly. So when I was thinking about a costume for this program, I remembered the story that Daniel Glehengaus told about basically what's the idea behind this program. He was talking about a girl who enters the garden and sees a beautiful butterfly and follows it. And basically this butterfly represents her dream. So when she catches the butterfly, she achieves her dream. When I was listening to the story, the first thing I thought about was the color green. Frankly, it's my favorite color and I really enjoy watching green costumes on ice. I don't think they often go with the green color for figure skating costumes. This is the color I gave Camila for her short program. It's a green dress, and also I thought of combination of green and gold. I think it's a very pretty combination. I love it in interior design, for example, or in design in general. Here are some examples. And another association I've had with this story he told with this, beautiful girl in the garden was certain artworks, like the one I put in my mood board, and, generally like paintings by pre-Raphaelites. They used to paint beautiful ladies often in the nature, and also some paintings by Alphonse Mucha, the ladies he used to portray. Also the combination of green and gold is often present in his works, so this was my inspiration for this costume. Talking about the material, I was picturing velvet, but obviously I know they would not be able to use velvet for the program because this is probably like a specific material they use for these figure skating costumes, and velvet would be too heavy for them to jump and to skate in. But in general, I would like the material would give like this feeling of velvet, look as close to velvet as possible. And also, I put here some examples of these like golden flowers, golden artificial flowers. I have like a string of leaves around her neck. I think it's a bit close to what they did for Zhenya Medvedeva's Olympic Anna Karenina program costume. I think it was very pretty, and I wanted to do something similar to that. And probably one of the most interesting things about this design is the back. I tried to draw it as accurately as possible, but I'm not sure if you can get what I mean. Basically, what I want is like the match, the transparent material all over her back, pretty much what they did with her Avatar show program. And I want it to have either embroidery or like a stamp of like this golden ornament. I went with, this weird, it's not even flowers, it's just like weird plants that you can see in the field. I'm not sure how to say it in English, but I will put a picture of it. So yeah, I don't know. For me, there's something poetic about them, even though I don't see them often used as an ornament for dresses or for anything at all, honestly. So here it is. Here is my dress for Camila. I would like to hear what you think about it. Next, we are going to talk about Camila Valieva's free program. It's Balera. She skated it for 2 seasons now. So there are 2 costumes to talk about. Personally, I was a huge fan of the first variant of the costume. Actually, I'm not sure if it was the first one, but it was the costume that she skated this program most last season. I love the combination of green and red and black. I think it was very elegant. I think she looked great in it, and it was pretty original and, pretty memorable. And on the surface, this year's costume looks pretty similar, like it's the same cut, the same transparent skirt, the same black tights. So I have no idea why I disliked it so much, because it's the same concept, but for some reason it seemed really boring to me, not Olympic at all. So for my own design, I basically kept the same inspiration, the snake motif. I also kept the same color scheme, black, red and green, and I would also stick with use of beads instead of crystals. I thought it was really suitable in this case. I gave her this, it really can be a one piece, but I went with top and pants. The top is not a corset per se, because obviously you would not be able to jump in the corset because it restricts your movements too much, but this sort of corset-esque top that allows you the freedom of movement, but at the same time gives you this shape, the waist, so that Camila would look more feminine and maybe more grown up, because a lot of people, argued that the music is much too grown up for her. So yeah, I wanted to give her this distinctive silhouette, and I wanted her to look a bit more grown up than she was, because she was only 15. And also I thought it would be really cool if the whole costume was black and just the gloves, this like long gloves, would be bright red, because it would draw our attention to her arm movements. Obviously, she has a lot of interesting arm choreography in this program. And I gave her a little snake as ornament on her neck, also made out of beads. I tried to find something similar. These are the images I found in the internet of people doing stuff like that. So this is my design for Camila's free program, and let me know what you think. Now let's talk about Anna Scherbakova, our Olympic champion. I'm only going to talk about her second short program, the one she performed at the Olympics. I think the program was alright. I certainly liked the music, and when it comes to the costume, well, it was not bad. I really like how Anna looks in black. I think it's her color, it suits her very much, but I'm just not sure about this combination of black and this pastel blue. And it's overall cut of the dress that I really didn't enjoy, especially when it comes to the skirt. I think it's too long for her. And yeah, as I said, the shape of the skirt and the shape of the dress I just found really awkward. And also, I think I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to create this dramatic image and make this dramatic costume for her. But they ended up just making a dress with a lot of small details. And it just gives me the impression that it's too much. It's too much. You can't really see the skater behind this dress. It's too elaborate. I appreciate the idea, so when I was thinking about my own design, I certainly took inspiration from the original costume. So the first association that I've had with the original costume, especially with those small details I was talking about, was an image of broken glass. This is why I put this picture here, and basically this was my inspiration for the costume. I tried to come up with a dress that would look like it's made entirely out of broken glass. I tried looking up similar designs on the internet because it's not particularly original idea, And basically, like, please don't laugh, but basically, this is what I want. Like, I know it looks bloody awful, but conceptually speaking, this is very close to what I was picturing in my mind. I've actually found a lot of similar dresses. I will put them over here, even though I don't particularly like any of those, but I just want you to understand what I mean. I want the dress that would be made entirely out of mesh and covered in those. I'm not even sure. I think those are crystals, and sometimes, like on the first dress I showed you, those are paillettes. I'm not sure how to call them correctly. I found this word, but I'm not sure if you know what I mean. But you get the idea. And when it comes to the color, I really didn't want to give her a black dress. I don't know why I find black costumes in figure skating often really boring. So I wanted to come up with something different, and this is the color that came to my mind. Honestly, it's one of my favorite colors in general, and yet I have no idea what's it called. So if you know, please let me know. Also, I put this picture here because I specifically would like the gloves to be covered in glitter, as you know, as in small, very small pieces of glass. I think it will look really cool. So yeah, this is my idea for the costume for Anna. Now let's talk about Anya's free program. It was Master and Margarita, and I must admit, when I first heard the idea for the program, I was absolutely delighted because I thought this kind of program, like intellectual program based on a novel, like it was supposed to be so great for Anna in particular. But then, I don't know, I kind of expected them to use the music from the movie Master and Margarita, but instead they have one piece from the movie, it's in the middle of the program, and the rest of it is just random music that has nothing to do with the novel, with the plot of the novel, and frankly, the character that she's performing also, I feel like, has no connection to Margarita from the novel. So I was a bit confused, but overall, I don't think it's a bad program. I enjoyed it. It's, I guess, one of my favorite program of this season. But when it comes to the costume, look, I don't mean to complain all the time, but that's kind of the point of this video. I'm talking about the costumes I hate. And God, I hate this dress. I guess I like the color. I like the cut of the dress, like it's not bad, but excuse me, isn't it the same very cut that they've used last season? Like, look at that. It's so similar. Even the, underskirt, a lot of people were like saying, oh, this underskirt, it makes the dress look so interesting. And I'm just like, it's the same underskirt they used last year. So, I guess I'm just a bit disappointed because don't you want to come up with something more interesting and more original, especially for the Olympics? And another thing I hate, the back of the dress. It seems like a pretty simple idea. We've seen it many, many times in figure skating, but somehow it looks so messy. Why does it look so messy? Anyway, I hated it, absolutely hated it, and yeah, that's why I wanted to come up with my own design. Now, when it comes to my design, frankly, I can't really explain where I took my inspiration from. I guess it just like appeared in my mind because at first I obviously tried looking up the images of Margarita from the movie, and there was not much coming up that I could use. It's not like she has an iconic image that I could take an inspiration from. Well, except for the episodes where she's naked, but that's we don't want that. I guess the only detail on this costume that I can really explain are those yellow flowers, because if you didn't read the book, basically she's carrying yellow flowers when she's meeting the love of her life, and this is a very like iconic and important image from the book. I suppose they symbolize something. I have no idea what. I'm too lazy to look it up, but I just wanted to integrate them in this dress. I used purple because once again, I didn't want to give her a black dress, even though Margarita in the book usually wears black. I think I chose purple because it's the color that often is associated with certain, supernatural things. I used lilac as well because, frankly, I just think it would suit Anna. Asymmetrical cut, waistline that's a bit lower than her natural waistline, so that's supposed to create sort of an interesting silhouette. So frankly, I don't know how to explain it. There you go, that's my design. Now let's talk about Alena Kostornaya. She had a lot of programs this season and lots of costumes to go with them. Actually, I think I prefer her dresses to all of the other girls' dresses from this group, but at the same time, I have to remind myself that Alyona is very pretty and it's very hard to make her look bad. But let's start with her short programs. She had two. The first one was this bluesy program to Beth Hart song, and the dress was alright, I think. It was pretty simple, but I think it looks great on her and well, it's very suitable for the program. Her second program was in New York, New York, and this dress, honestly, one of my favorite dresses of the entire season. Oh my god, I love it. It's genuinely, it's perfect, so I will not say a single bad word about it. So you can see there is not much I can complain when it comes to her short programs, so I will move on to her free programs. I will start with her lovely program because that's the first one I saw. We all saw it as a show program. She skated it during the summer and then they decided to use it during the season. She had two dresses for this program, the one that they used originally for the show and the one very similar to that they used for her competition. The first one, the show dress, I think honestly is perfect. I think it's very interesting. It's very interesting combination of very girly dress and those leather and those cuffs, I guess. Those thunder strokes on her dress also look very interesting. So I genuinely liked it. When it comes to the dress that they made specifically for competition, I feel like that's a very great example when the concept is great, but the execution is really not. Because I think the cut of the dress really doesn't complement her, and I think she looks really awkward and she looks quite heavy in that dress. So I was very happy when they chose to use the show dress once again. Frankly, I don't know why I'm doing this because, as I said, I like this dress as it is. I guess, wanted to fantasize what I would do if I was the costume designer. I used this very same idea because I feel like they were coming from the character of the music because there are several different variants of the same song, of the same melody, and some of them are lyrical, but the last one is this, edgy, very interesting music. So the costume is supposed to reflect the change in the character of this music, and basically that's what they did for the original costume. I'm not sure why I'm explaining this to you. There are several details in this costume that I would like to draw your attention to. First of all is obviously the skirt. Once again, it's a fantasy. I'm not sure if she would be able to jump in this skirt, but I thought that this sort of skirt would be great because it's very interesting, very unusual. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like that on ice. The shape is very interesting. It resembles the crinoline, but at the same time, it's transparent. And when it's used as a skirt, not as a crinoline, I think it looks really edgy and interesting, especially if it's made out of, this black leather straps. And also we have this massive belt, also made out of faux leather. And I found this image of those, leather fingerless gloves. I think they would also be very appropriate. I like the shape. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Like, it's a very familiar idea, but I've never seen fingerless gloves that look like that. So basically we have this very feminine purple dress, but at the same time we have those details of the dress made out of faux leather that make it more interesting. And once again, that's pretty much the same idea as in case of the original costume. It's just my take on it. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the back of the dress. Basically, when I was thinking about this program and about what's the idea of this program and what it means for Alyona, I know that Alyona is all about, self-expression, about being who you are and at the same time being different. And the image came into my mind. I feel like it's a bit funny because I know a lot of people used this image as their tattoo back in the days. I think you know the image I'm talking about, the cage and the birds flying away of it. So the image symbolizes freedom. I thought, well, the skirt resembles a cage a little bit, so we just need birds flying out of it. So the back of the dress is covered with images of the birds, and I don't know, I just thought it's a very interesting concept and it would look fun. I don't know, I just think best costumes have sort of this, concept. They take inspiration from the idea of the program. I don't like when it's just a pretty dress that can be a costume for any program at all. The last program I'm going to talk about today is Alyona's Vivaldi program. She had two dresses for this program as well. The first one is the dress that she skated this program in during the test skates. I actually think it's a great dress. Once again, I think it's very suitable for the program. I think Alyona looked great in it. The only thing I'm kind of not sure about is the color choice, because I think the color is a bit too dark for Alyona, but at the same time I like the contrast of the color of the dress and those, white or I guess silver details on the front of the dress. And the second dress is the dress she performed this program at, I'm not sure, Finlandia Trophy, I think. Well, this one I'm not so fond about. The only thing I really like about it is the choice of color. So I kind of suspect that they looked at Alyona in the first dress as well and thought that the color was too dark and decided to change that. But overall shape and cut of the dress, I'm not so sure about, because I don't know. First of all, it looks a bit generic to me. Like, I'm not sure about that weird random piece of material on the front of the dress, but obviously Alyona looks great in it, and she also named it as one of her favorite dresses, so that's great. Nevertheless, I wanted to present my own design, obviously, so here it is. As you can see, I also chose to use quite a dark color, but I used it in combination with light blues. I think it looks alright. Obviously, my main inspiration for this dress, as you can see, is those ornaments on frozen glass. And when we transfer this concept to the costume design, it's obviously lace. I found this extremely beautiful examples of lacing, so that's what I was picturing, like to cover front and the back of the dress. I also tried to portray the white embroidery. First of all, I think that white embroidery on blue looks great, and also I think it resembles those ornaments on frozen glass. I also gave her the choker that's made out of lace. And also an important detail, I know I've chosen dark blue and light blue and white for the color scheme of this dress, but I would also use the golden, or I guess just yellow crystals. And I feel like that's very important, because look at that image. What makes it interesting is the sunlight on the background, so the combination of warm toned and cold toned colors. So I know that it's not the most noticeable detail, but I still think that's the important one to make the dress complete. So that was the last design I'm going to show you today. Thank you so much for watching. You have no idea how much it means to me. Please share your opinion in the comments. I'm very interested to hear what you think. Do you like the original costumes? Do you like any of my designs? Please let me know, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.